Welcome to the Pet Loss Journals podcast. I am your host Louise. This podcast is all about the reality and impact pet loss has on our lives, and I will be discussing my personal journey through pet loss. So if you are struggling on your own pet loss journey, then this is the podcast for you. Welcome to episode 22. On this week's episode, I will be delving into navigating the challenging aspects of pet loss during the Christmas holidays. With the holiday season fast approaching, we are pretty much constantly bombarded by images of happy families together sharing the joy of the season. You know, as you would see, but if you are somebody that is grieving at the minute, this may not be the picture that you can imagine at this point in time. So holidays, birthdays, or other days that were a special part of your family traditions trigger painful feelings of loss and grief, which is completely normal. And you know, some people often ask, so what do you want for Christmas? And deep down, you know, your real answer is, I just want my pet back. I just wish that they hadn't died. I want them here for Christmas. Many of us are off for, you know, a number of days or a couple of weeks over Christmas, and we would have always spent so much more quality time with our pets during Christmas. And you know, that question of, so what do you want for Christmas? And all of the material things just fly out the window, and what we really want is our connection, our physical relationship back with our gorgeous, you know, companion animal that died. And for some people, anticipating and even dreading the upcoming occasion is worse than the actual day. So that anticipation of it, fearing that you may react badly or ruin the holiday for others, you know, ruin Christmas Day for others, can lead to feelings of intense grief and anxiety approaching, you know, Christmas Day and the days following. So there are several ways to approach these particular days, and you can try and make them just as they were before the death of your loved one. You can do something completely different, or you can create a day that combines old traditions with new ones. So there may be some pressure sometimes from family and friends to do the day like exactly as before, like that your pet was there and almost as everything is as it was. But like, this can be really emotionally difficult because nothing will be exactly as before. It's not the same, and there's no point sugarcoating that or trying to convince others of that. So that is the fact. So often, like, I've felt like this the first Christmas without my dogs. I have felt like wishing that I could just go to sleep and wake up after the holidays were over, after Christmas is over. But unfortunately, that's not an option. That I really wanted to have that option, but it wasn't an option. So there are some helpful things that might help while you're finding this particular time of the year challenging. So I guess the first one would be to be prepared. Would be my first bit of advice. So before plans and expectations kind of sneak up on you, you know, so before those Christmas expectations and plans sneak up, and you think about what you can and cannot do this year, and friends and family may, with the best of intentions, make plans for you on your behalf, they don't quite understand that maybe asking you what you would like to do first would be more helpful. But so maybe before, for example, the annual, the tree lighting ceremony, or, lighting the Christmas tree might have been like a favourite thing of yours. And maybe now, like, if you go to that event, you might completely fall apart, and it's something that you prefer to avoid this year. So know that some things will just be too hard to do, and kind of don't fall into that trap of letting others make these decisions for you during the holiday period. If you have already decided what is best for you, gently but politely decline the plans that you feel are going to be too stressful for you. At the end of the day, you're going to try to put yourself first while you are in this intense grief that you're experiencing. Which so be prepared is the first part. There is another part, is allow yourself to grieve. So it's important to acknowledge and accept your feelings of grief. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel angry, anxious, guilty. All of these emotions. Give yourself that permission to grieve, and don't try to suppress those emotions. Don't try to push those emotions down and say, I'm just going to get through the Christmas with my family and pretend that I'm okay. And when I'm asked how I'm doing, I'm not people are just going to say I'm fine, to avoid even talking about the pain that they're in. But allow yourself to grieve. It's important to acknowledge that, accept the feelings. Another one would be to create a memorial. So consider creating a holidays or Christmas memorial for your pet. This could be a photo album, a scrapbook. I know I mentioned before that I created a scrapbook for the lifetime of my dogs, with all their pictures and notes that I wrote in it. Or even planting a tree in their memory. I know that many clients that I speak with have done this. It's a really, really special thing to do. With death brings new life with this tree. And you get to see this tree growing, whether that's a beautiful cherry blossom tree or whatever tree that you love, to plant a tree in their memory. Having a tangible reminder of your pet that can provide that huge comfort. So creating some kind of memorial around Christmas, whether that is if your pet had a Christmas stocking, your cat, your dog, whatever pet that was in your life had a Christmas stocking, why not continue to put that Christmas stocking out, on your mantelpiece or wherever you normally hang it, and maybe pop in, write some lovely notes on sticky notes and pop those in. Maybe every day coming up to Christmas, write something in that you enjoyed about your pet, that you learned from the relationship, that the one thing that really made you laugh uncontrollably about your pet's favourite place to go. And maybe go to that favourite place. Maybe make a trip during the holidays to your pet's favourite place that they absolutely loved going to. So create a memorial in whatever way feels comfortable for you. Another one is share memories. Don't be afraid to talk about your pet with friends and family who understand and support you. Now that is really important here, who understand and support you. Unfortunately, this might not be the case for many people listening. They don't feel understood or supported around the topic of pet loss grief, with certain family members, relatives, friends, and maybe they don't have that option. But if you do have an option, even with one close person in your life, share those memories. Sharing the memories, showing them videos, pictures can be therapeutic. It also allows others to empathise with your loss. It also allows others to be that listening ear, sharing those memories. Because when our pets die, there's often this assumption that let's not bring it up in conversation. Let's not talk about it. I think we don't want to upset them. We don't want to go down that road. So just not even going to mention it at all. But not mentioning a pet that has died is even more hurtful than, than anything else, because the person, wants to talk about their pet. And so what if the person cries? Like, it's more about that other family member that is like thinking, oh, I don't want to upset them. It's more about, is that family member really deeply concerned, really? The issue might be that they are not sure how to navigate speaking about death or grief or the loss of a pet. It's about their uncomfortableness more than upsetting their family member that has lost a pet. So if you have to verbalize it to your family, I want everybody to talk about my pet that has died. I want to reminisce. I want to share the memories and talk about them. Whether you have to literally verbalize that to your family, you may have to. But that is something that can be really therapeutic. Another one might be maybe create or establish a new tradition. So if your pet had normally played a really significant role during Christmas holidays, consider establishing a new one or adapting the existing one that you had. This may help to kind of make the holidays feel less overwhelming and provide a sense of continuity of that spiritual and emotional aspect of the relationship. As I mentioned last week, the physical aspect of the relationship has ended, but the spiritual aspect can live on. So establishing a new tradition, like I mentioned a minute ago, going to your pet's favourite place, maybe on Christmas Day for an hour, going to that place and really sitting with the memories and the energy of your pet that has died, and really just creating space for your grief in that day, which is really, really important. Create a new tradition, I don't know, maybe create a new tradition that can help you to incorporate the memory of your pet in the day itself, a Christmas Day or the days following. Don't forget to take care of yourself, because grieving can be physically and emotionally exhausting. As I always mention, there is a seriously depletion of concentration levels while we're grieving, and the easy daily tasks that we would normally not struggle with become really difficult to do. So make sure you're prioritizing your self-care, you're getting enough rest, you're eating well, and you're engaging in activities that bring comfort and joy to your day, whether that is even a 10-minute walk outside in nature. Just remember to take care of yourself. There is you could create a special ritual, so consider lighting a candle. Perform a ritual to honour your pet during the Christmas holiday season. This can be a personal or meaningful way to remember them. Similar to the new traditions, this special ritual could be something that you actually begin, something that you do, whether that is, creating something, being creative, being artistic, design something, some art of your pet, or maybe purchase a memorial item, be that some of your pet's ashes in a lovely necklace or in a ring, or create a special ritual, a lighting of a candle that has a picture of your pet on the candle. Journaling to your pet in the candlelight, whatever this is. This can be anything really, just performing a little special ritual over the days of the holidays that you can maybe think to continue on even after that. So creating a little ritual that helps you while you're grieving. Expressing your feelings. So I love this one. This is obviously something that I'm really passionate about. Journaling or writing letters to your pet can be a therapeutic way to express your emotions. And last week I did speak about many of the journal entries that I share each week are written to Ozzy and Moose. So they're signed off at the end, by thank you, Ozzy and Moose, for giving me the strength to cope with this intense pain. And I'm writing a lot of these journal entries. I wrote them to my dogs. So expressing your feelings can be therapeutic. And obviously, I spoke a lot about journaling in the previous episode. So, and like, it can provide an outlet for your feelings and allows you to reflect on all the positive and incredible, amazing aspects of the relationship that you had with your pet. Another major one during the holidays, which a lot of us struggle with, is isolation. So while it's okay to take some time alone, of course, while we're grieving, yes, but try not to isolate yourself completely. So just try not to isolate completely. Surround yourself with supportive friends or family that can provide comfort and companionship to you during this time off work, during this time of grief that you're experiencing. Avoiding isolation is something that can help us to feel less alone in our grief. That being said, a lot of people grieve alone. And that really, we feel that we're doing our family and friends a favour, that who would want to be around us? We're miserable, we feel crap anyway. We're really down, it's just such sadness that we're feeling. We automatically tell ourselves that we wouldn't be good company. And that is so far from the truth. And having glimmers of joy and, the odd laugh or smile while we're grieving can really, really help us to just get a reprieve from that intense grief that we're in. And really, we do need those reprieves. We do need those, a break in that cycle of grief, so that we can just smile with loved ones that we want to spend some time with over Christmas. Not that we're forgetting our grief. Our grief is still sitting there, but we're giving ourselves a little break from that. So avoid isolation. So another one could be to seek support. So don't hesitate to reach out to those that are closest to you, or even people that have experienced a pet loss. Now they won't know exactly how you feel, but they will be able to provide that compassionate empathy and the support that really you might be seeking. So sometimes talking to others who understand the depth of your emotions to some extent, not fully understand them, of course, but they may be familiar with the depth of the emotions that you're experiencing, can be incredibly comforting during the Christmas holidays. Of course, seeking professional support is another one. If your grief becomes extremely overwhelming, consider seeking help, from somebody who specialises in pet loss, and that support can offer valuable tools and coping strategies. Everybody grieves differently. There's no right or wrong way to mourn the loss or grieve the loss of a pet. Take it one day at a time over the Christmas holidays. Be really gentle with yourself as you navigate this really, really challenging, difficult time. If this is the first year, if this is really recent loss for you, my heart goes out to you. It's incredibly difficult, especially when we are off work and we have more time to ruminate, and more time to yearn for our pets to be back in our lives. And as well, at the same time, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the continuing bonds. So we don't want to move on or get over it. We learn to adapt to it and accommodate it in our lives. Grief. So the continuing bond of our pets, the bond that we had, we can continue that. The spiritual aspect of it, that emotional bond, we can continue that by doing these things, creating special rituals and seeking support and speaking about them, sharing memories and creating memorials and doing something new to continue the memory and the bond that you've had with your pet, honouring that relationship is going to be so meaningful for you. Be honest about your feelings. Just be honest. It's really crucial to share how you're feeling with people that you feel safe with, of course. Bottling it up over the Christmas period will just lead to more pain in the new year, and may lead to some physical pain. Bottling grief up, it manifests physically, and my advice to you is just be really honest with your feelings. And if you're struggling, and if you feel like you're being pressured and pushed into plans that you just don't feel comfortable with, then be honest. Be totally honest with your feelings. We often have a tendency also over Christmas to overeat and overdrink, but that is something that we're trying to deal with, how we suppress our feelings by doing those things. I know it's hard, but try to feel your feelings rather than masking your feelings over Christmas as well. And just know that really being honest and being open and giving yourself that space to acknowledge your feelings, to allow yourself to grieve, without feeling guilty, that give yourself that permission. If you need that time over Christmas, give yourself that permission. Suppressing your emotions is going to do more harm than good, and I hope that you've kind of found those tips a little bit helpful approaching the Christmas season. I know that it can be incredibly overwhelming, but I hope that you found some tips there, and some resonate with you, and you may have already started with these already, as we are fast approaching Christmas Day. So I really hope that you remember to be gentle on yourselves and to reach out to those that you are most close with, and be honest with your feelings and express and allow yourself to grieve. And thank you so much for listening. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this week's episode. Remember, your pet loss grief is real, and it is so valid. Please be gentle on yourself. Until next time, take care.